Welcome back to In the Spotlight. It has become really difficult to watch what's going on around the United States, whether it's your local school board or whether it's people going after Kyrsten Sinema in the bathroom. But that is exactly what happened. Mm-hmm. I mean, let's be clear here. There's no common sense. There's no moderation, and there's literally no decency in any of the agenda and the actions of the progressive left. It should be their undoing. Will it be? The latest example, Kathleen, illegal immigrants, DACA recipients, but I mean self-described as illegal immigrants and DACA recipients, were following Arizona Senator Kyrsten Sinema at the university. She apparently teaches at a university, and they followed her into the bathroom to demand that she votes for a $5 trillion spending bill that also includes a path to citizenship. We have the clip. We think this is extremely aggressive, but we also think you should hear it. It's completely invasive. They're in the bathroom. Go ahead. Let's play the clip.
Great. I'll be back.
Sit down. We want to talk to you real quick.
Actually, I am heading out.
Right now is a real moment that our people need in order for us to be able to talk about what's really happening. We need a Build Back Better plan right now.
We knocked on doors. We need solutions. The Build Back Better plan has the solutions that we need.
We knocked on doors for you to get you elected, and just how we got you elected, we can get you out of office if you don't support what you promised us.
We need 7 million citizenship.
Threats.
7 million. We need the Build Back Better plan right now.
Is that a guy in the bathroom?
Yes.
That's a guy?
I don't know. It sounds like it. Allegedly.
When I was 3 years old.
But I think it is.
And in 2010, my grandparents both got deported because of SB 1070. And I'm here because I definitely believe that we need a pathway to citizenship. My grandfather passed away 2 weeks ago, and I was not able to go to Mexico and visit him because there is no pathway to citizenship. And if we have the opportunity to pass it right now, then we need to do it, because there's millions of undocumented people just like me who share the same story or even worse things that happen to them because of SB 1070 and because of anti-immigrant legislation. And this is the opportunity to pass it right now, and we need to hold you accountable to what you told us, what you promised us that you were going to pass when we knocked on doors for you. It's not right.
I'm a survivor of human trafficking, and it's because of the lack of
Kyrsten's out of the bathroom now, washing her hands. And they're still.
I need you to stand by workers. Lots of people who are like me.
Can you even believe this?
No.
Can you believe this? They're literally followed her in the bathroom. It sounds like one of the people was a guy. It sounded like a male voice.
This happened again. It happened in a university in Arizona.
Yes.
According to The Hill,
on Friday.
In Arizona, it is illegal to photograph or videotape someone in a bathroom where that person has a reasonable expectation of privacy. So I hope that the Sinema camp is going to prosecute.
Well, it would be great if she did, because maybe some of this incivility would stop. Yeah. You know, maybe some of that would stop, because they have crossed a line, and hopefully they've crossed a line with Democrats. I mean, first it was Nicki Minaj, the uber popular pop star, and her getting canceled. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know, but remember Sawyer Hackett who put out the tweet about the whips that the Border Patrol were using when actually they were the reins on the horses? Mm-hmm. Well, he is defending this, and to no one's surprise. I don't know who this guy is. He needs to go away, though. He's ridiculous. These sickos appear to have broken the law. And you can be sure that if it had been AOC in that bathroom and not Kyrsten Sinema, we'd be smack dab in the middle of full-blown media and liberal outrage cycle. But instead, we've got tributes to the protesters' bravery and suggestions that Senator Sinema had it coming to her. Sawyer Hackett, same guy who kicked off the liberal outrage cycle surrounding the Border Patrol agents, said, imagine coming to the U.S. at age 3, having both your parents deported and living in the U.S. for 20 years without a pathway to citizenship, only to be told you're being counterproductive by confronting a senator in the public standing in the way. Confronting the senator in a public bathroom and filming it without her consent. So what about her
the left is doubling
humanity
down?
And dignity? I mean, did we mention, again, in the bathroom? It's not in public. It's in the bathroom.
The left is doubling down on their own bad behavior. And we're apparently the extremists. We're not the ones who wore pink pussy hats outside the inauguration of a president. and screamed about it.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not the extremists. These guys are radical. And you know, I hope she gets deported. Honestly, she should get deported for this type of thing. This is threatening.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can have conversations about how big the budget should be and whether or not we should spend $3.5 trillion, really $5.5 trillion. You can't have those conversations in a bathroom and expect to be respected.
Right. Joe Biden on the public harassment of senators, on his comment on this, he says, just part of the process. He said, I don't think they're appropriate tactics, but it happens to everybody. So that's their leader right there.
No, he should. See, that's the problem, though. If they would stop this, if he would say something about it now and correct his own side about this type of activism. By the way, it's arrogant activism, and that's what it is. But it's not just that. It's really an example of bad manners and rudeness. I don't know who her parents are, but nobody raises anybody raises their kids to do this is wrong.
Because I worked in your legislative office when you were state rep, and I think it's part of like how these lobbies, which first of all, lobbies cast a very wide net, so you get some lunatics, you do, but they really do like instruct people to think of legislators who oppose them or are opposing them in a way that's very dehumanizing. And so you get calls and you're like, whoa, you know, like, who are you talking to? Like,
well,
you know,
and you get people that don't even know the full context of anything going on. I mean,
no,
but
but these lobbies whip people up to think, you know, just in a very limited framework, and they cause. I mean, we call them death threats. So,
but did you get this? Because she's saying that there's anti-immigrant legislation, which she's probably talking about a local law. She said SB 1070 or 30 or something. I don't know if that's an Arizona state legislative law or if it's something at the Congress level. I don't know. But the legislation that she wants Sinema to pass is actually pro-immigration. So she's talking about, you know, you're standing up for this anti-immigration. But I think the problem here is that my point is that they don't even know what they're talking about half the time. And they're not clear in what they want, other than they want massive spending and unfettered immigration.
And Kyrsten Sinema's Democrat Party boogeyman right now because she's got her opposition to the infrastructure bill. So
no, she approves the infrastructure bill. She's opposed to holding hostage the infrastructure bill for the sake of the $5.5 trillion social infrastructure spending bill. So I mean, she's being actually one of the moderates in this discussion, but that's getting her nowhere. But I mean, this rudeness towards people, it goes all the way down to your local school board level. And so we have another clip that we want to play for you. And this is from a local school board. This is a teacher assistant who tearfully came to the lectern to give public comment against the board's refusal to honor her religious exemption from the mandatory vaccination or weekly testing. And in her remarks, she also notes, and you'll hear it, that she feels like she was singled out, or that there were other people that were offered the religious exemption, but she was denied. And so she thinks that this is a form of discrimination. Anyway, near the end of her remarks, when her allotted time ran out, the board refused to give her additional time. It is so rude, and we thought that you should listen to how rude this board was towards their own employee. Take a listen.
Personal.
I know.
My name's Tammy Williams, and as it stands right now, I am a TA.
She's
at Wabansie.
She's choking up.
Thank you. On Wednesday, September 22nd, I submitted my religious exemption to HR. I stated specific reasons as to why I requested the exemption that are personal to me, my faith, and my relationship with God. I prayed to find the right words that would convey my faith and reasons for choosing not to vaccinate or test weekly. At 11:46 that same evening, my response from you came in an email that my application was reviewed and denied. Others received similar emails with approvals, but mentioned that they would still have to test. I'm not sure who was checking the boxes, who got approved for the religious exemption and who did not. I did not, and I feel like On its face, it's discrimination. On Friday, I received an email from Dr. Lee in all caps in the subject line, notice of exclusion. It stated that because I did not comply to testing, starting today, I would be excluded from the district. I would be on unpaid leave effective immediately. I am the same person from 13 months ago, 4 weeks ago, heck, 1 week ago. I was welcomed into the building every day to do the job I have come to love with the people and the kids I have come to love. The only difference as of today, that somehow I am now a danger to be there. There is no difference between me and a vaccinated person in terms of contracting, and spreading. Yet I have to test, but they do not. The only difference as of today is that I did not comply. My non-compliance makes me now a danger, a health risk, not a health risk. I cannot go against my conscience, my faith, and test when I am not sick. The direction we're taking has nothing to do with science. Lollapalooza, Cubs games, concerts, football
Homecoming.
games.
Yes.
You all have the power to recognize this for what it is. It is certainly not science. Common sense is calling out. This doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense. There are other districts standing up.
Ms. Donahue, speaker's time has ended.
I could just take one more quick second. One quick second. I hope that my peers know that I'm here to support their freedoms, that they might not agree with vaccination or not vaccination, but we have the choice. Please let me just have 1 second.
We have to keep to the limit of the 3 minutes. Otherwise, we have all
I hope
sorts
that
of
the
It'll be
students know that I
anarchy if we don't
believe
stick to our
them.
3 minutes.
Thank you. Please sit
And
down.
then
Good grief.
I'm
Williams.
supporting their freedoms as
Please.
well.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
I mean, give me a
Now,
break.
To our consent.
She was
Okay,
obviously, you
that's-
can stop that. She was obviously coming to the end of her remarks. She's an employee. She felt like she had no other recourse to get to the board in a public way than to come in and give them public comment. And thank God that she did. I mean,
That
this
was
is very
really
revealing.
moving, yeah.
Look, I know at least one member of that board, and I texted him. I said, "You guys should apologize to that employee. Apologize to you." And in the moment, the right thing for at least one board member to do, Naperville 203, Indian Prairie School District, the one thing you could have done is to stop the darn moderator from cutting off this teacher's assistant.
Yeah.
Cut it and just stop and say, look, no.
She's an employee.
She's an employee
of the district.
I think everybody will understand if we give her an additional minute to
20
conclude
seconds,
her
yeah.
thoughts. But
Right.
not a single one of them, not a single one of those board members had the courage to break the rules.
To stand up for your teacher.
They're all such rule followers. I mean, I'm just so disgusted by these school board members who refuse to think outside of the box, who refuse to stand up for their own employees, who refuse to listen to parents. I mean, I've been cut off at the microphone. Our friends have been cut off at the microphone when we're concluding a thought. And in one case, I mean, you're supposed to get 3 minutes. Oh, well, we're only do 2 minutes because there's so many people signed up and we have 30-minute limits.
Yeah.
I mean, what the hell is wrong with these people? They don't want to hear from us.
But this is again what we were talking about before. It's the way that the people who disagree with you you're
vilified.
Vilified in the way you're supposed to think about them. And the National School Boards Association, of which I am sure they are all members, is asking the Biden administration to ask for federal law enforcement to assist with the growing number of parents coming to meetings. They want parents speaking out at these meetings to be considered domestic terrorists.
That is ridiculous.
And
I mean, who are these people?
CNN, who labeled BLM and Antifa rioters as mostly peaceful protesters last year, has indulged the NSBA president in painting concerned parents as domestic terrorists. They had her on their show on October 1st, on one of their shows to make her case and advance the cause. So it's insanely dishonest to suggest that parents who oppose harmful school policies are violent domestic terrorists, and that they should be treated as such. And yet major media outlets are giving this insanity and dishonesty a platform.
You know, I don't even know what to say. I'm speechless. I'm just speechless that they would think that you're a domestic terrorist because you go to your school board meeting and you speak up. But that's where we are, folks.
Right.
So guess what? You don't sit down in this thing. You stand up and you show up and you push back. And that's why we encourage you, again, because call to action here. Show up at your school board meetings. Show up and give them a piece of your mind. We've given you plenty to discuss and talk about, from like outrageous mask mandates to them not focused on, actual critical learning, to instead being focused on critical race training,
comprehensive sex education,
comprehensive
and
sex
another
ed,
thing,
all of
another
that.
thing that's important to understand. It's a part of critical theory, which is also an academic theory that's
right.
Filtering down into schools. They are training people to reject data that's presented to them. So about, grades or anything. I mean, it's outrageous.
Yeah. Well, grades are very subjective now anyway, right?
Right.
So, I mean, if you go off of that one Oak Park teacher, you could have a 20% on a regular grading scale would actually be a passing grade. Barely.
That's obscene.
I know. Well, that's where we are. And if you guys don't stand up and go to your school board meetings, this is going to continue. But shame on, again, the Naperville 204 school district for not letting her even conclude her remarks, their own employee.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Last segment is going to be a discussion about
cancel culture
here in the Chicago area. All right. It hits a major Chicago Tribune commenter.
You won't believe which one.